man has gone missing, and in their absence, the world has changed. In many ways, it has become a wide frontier filled with peril and adventure. The dogs of Pugmire seek to uncover the artifacts that man has left behind, protect the weak, and guard against the forces of the unseen.
Hello, wonderful people, and welcome to Weave the Tale, and this, the finale of Pugmire, What Lies Buried. I am Pope, your humble narrator. Just at the top of this, unfortunately, we will be without our very good boy Hanklin. M, please take care. Unfortunately, their little one was ill last night, and it was rough. So right now, they are finally getting some rest. But don't you worry, Hanklin will be taken care of, and his story will continue on. Others who are continuing on, actually today, we've got a lot of familiar and good faces with us, like Celeste. How you doing, friend?
I was not prepared to go first. Hi, I'm Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on Twitter. I'm Celeste Shepherd here on Twitch. Yeah, I'm playing Raven Rat Terrier, and I'm excited and heartbroken about this being the finale. But you know, every story has to have an ending. What else are we working toward if not that? So I'm just really looking forward to how this whole thing is going to shake out and how everything's going to wrap up. And if you haven't seen it, I know we do a call to action on this all the time, but today's live tweet goes particularly hard. So you need to go look at that. It's super good.
Speaking of someone who definitely goes hard and is here to wrap up a story is Drakku. How are you doing, friend?
Oh, hey, I'm doing great. I'm awake. I'm still so just that cliffhanger last week. So I'm just so excited for this week. But I am Drakku. I play Oberyn the Doberman. And yeah, I'm just so eager to see where we go with this story. We left on just such a thing. I'm ready to get going. And yes, that live tweet is a banger. Y'all need to all go see that. It's great.
Someone who may know a thing or two about bangers, and though those bangers might be sausages, is Daxi Dachshund, played by Alicia. How you doing, friend?
Oh, hey, that's me. I'm fine. Daxi's gonna be great. But yeah, I'm Alicia or Petty, depending on where you know me from. It's gonna be a good time. We'll just see if we do the horrible idea or not. I don't know. Life's just life. We're good enough to survive it, probably.
It's someone who knows to try and get the most out of life is Bubz, played by Marcus. How you doing, friend?
I am doing well. Hello, my name is Marcus. Here's a picture of, let me put it over here. Here's a picture of not the real life Bubz, but this is the closest thing I can get to it. But my dog actually wasn't a pirate, by the way. But yeah, my name is Marcus. I am the producer of Table Takes and the assistant manager over at Gen Con TV. And I am very excited to play this finale with y'all. I am a little nervous, actually, but yeah.
Nerves. Nothing to be nervous about. It's not like you're going into certain danger. Speaking of
Very
certain
reassuring.
danger, you all come to gradually at the Sawgrass Lodge. All coming down to possibly the most elaborate of the feasts that have been put on for you so far by Harrison Pug. This time it is a magnificent and overly elaborate brunch. And as is a bit of a tradition here, let's go around and find out what is an item of particular import that each of you are enjoying this morning. I think we will save Daxi for last because that just feels appropriate. So Bubz, what have you gotten into? What is the favorite thing on your spread?
There is actually bacon wrapped, or kind of like a bacon thinly sliced ham wrapped asparagus that Bubz is kind of like slurping down like spaghetti, which is a weird visual, I'll tell you. That's a weird visual now that I say it. But Bubz is a big veggie fan, so Bubz will just eat any vegetable lying around. But you wrap this one in a little bit of like meat. Ooh, Bubz is so happy.
One of my roommates is quite the chef, and yes, prosciutto wrapped asparagus is a thing, and it is a delightful thing. What delight is on Obbs's plate?
Yeah, I was thinking about this. Because this sounds good right now. Just a big old plate of, we used to make something like this at one of the restaurants I used to work at. We called it dirty hash, which let's not call it that here. But it was hash browns mixed in with like scrambled eggs, chorizo, spinach, like just a whole like big old plate just heaping full, and you're expected to just scoop on in, grab yourself a little a big plate of this mess. So I think Oberyn, kind of knowing that he's got some work to do coming up, he's gonna get something that's really filling, and he's definitely getting some of this.
In this neck of the woods, we call that the kitchen sink, because it has just about everything in it. So yeah, no, that sounds amazing. What incredible thing is on Raven's plate?
If we're talking brunch, it's gotta be eggs Benedict, 100%. Like I will do anything and everything for a good plate of eggs Benedict with a little bit of smoked salmon. And the hollandaise has got to be just tops. Like, I will accept nothing but the best for my hollandaise. And the muffin, the English muffin, lightly toasted, little bit of butter, and my personal touch, garlic salt. Gets me every time.
Okay. And now possibly the piece de la resistance. What has Daxi acquired?
So this is one of the most succulent brunches we've had so far. So I gotta imagine there's at least just this nice roasted pig there. And by there I mean on Daxi's side of the table, because we know what we're about at this point. Along with some nice fig jam and bread fresh out of the oven, butter nearby. Also chickens gotta have, so some couple of roasted chickens along with omelets with just the tiniest bit of pepper, just the tiniest bit. Dex actually likes the egg flavor the best, but to just season it just that extra little bit. Is it possible to just have an apple tree in the lodge? Dex can just occasionally reach behind and grab one off. Is that possible? Is that a thing we can do?
I don't see why not. We have magic.
Perfect. So there's a nice lush apple tree and everything. Every once in a while, just a paw behind, waves hand, kind of like wave it forward. Come there, come with it, and yeah, just and some water. There we go. So what, mid-sized brunch,
Just mid-sized. Remember, folks, Daxi has broken their diet just recently, so they're now not necessarily fully indulging their appetite, but indulging it more.
It's brunch, not dinner.
Yes. I am just picturing that the butter sitting next to Daxi's side of the table, as it were, is in the shape of a giant acorn. So it's just this massive acorn of butter. And then Harrison, once he finally sits down, there is, as has become custom, a moat, followed by a wall, and then what he's eating. The moat is made up of these large serving tureens of cinnamon apples. So it's just one giant boat after another making this moat across. And then the wall, as it were, is just different loaves of different breakfast breads. So apricot bread, pumpkin bread, banana nut bread, just all those loaves across there. And then, just as a little added defense, is a smaller moat made of candied cranberries, all on small, like, little tea plates behind the wall of breakfast breads to keep Daxi at bay.
It's adorable because thinks Dex doesn't have floating discs. It's adorable, but it's his lodge, so it's fine.
But then, as part of Harrison's spread, he's got shrimp cocktail, because what's a brunch without a shrimp cocktail? And then he's got a large selection of eggs done different ways. So has a poached egg, soft boiled, fried, scrambled, an egg selection, and a large haystack of hash browns, and links of sausages as big as my forearm. Those are on a massive plate, and then mushroom caps stuffed with a mixture of crab, leek, and parmesan with a little breadcrumb over top, and some stuffed tomatoes. Those are filled with a bright and acidic mixture of some fresh salmon, a little bit of lemon, some fennel, and a little bit of dill, and that is the spread that he is enjoying. But as you are feasting, you notice that there is one of you who is not present. And Bull, the golden lab, who for some reason hangs out with Harrison and is a member of the Rangers, comes in, whispers in Harrison's ear and hands him a note. Oh dear. Well, that's concerning. Okay. So it appears that Hanklin has been absconded with by his betrothed.
What?
It seems that the Duchess, who has her ways, knew that you were all going into a dangerous situation, to which, and I quote, "I cannot dare to have my betrothed inconvenienced in such a fashion that I may not uphold my oaths, and so I am whisking him to safety, wishing you all the best of luck. Fun." Okay.
Well, rescue
Well, that's
mission
good for
first,
Hanklin.
or
I know. I mean, well, one, good luck tracking down the Fae. It doesn't go very well, trust me. And two, I mean, it's proof that the Duchess still wants Hanklin alive. So there's that. That's still probably gonna confuse
silver
him
lining.
because yeah, exactly, because she clearly needs him alive. I can't stand them. So that's gonna be complicated for Hanklin. But alive at the moment. It doesn't bode well for us that the Duchess felt the need to do that, but, life, whatever.
I will not be able to assemble them with the speed that this requires, but I might be able to pull some strings and have some members of the Royal Guard eventually follow you all.
Oh, well, that sounds good.
I will have to call in a few favors, but I think this is doable.
I kind of like the
just
idea of some of the
act-
Royal Guard. Oh, sorry.
No, like they will arrive. You will act as the vanguard, and then they will probably arrive, hopefully, shortly after you.
I love this. I would love if the royal guards just, if there's any around, they're just kind of like looking at each other. We're like, we don't want to. We're not going, right? We're not going to do this.
I love the eventually though.
The very pointed eventually.
The wood is a strange place, and considering that the very cave I'm sending you to has a way of just moving. I still hate that. I hate that. Caves should be static. They should move. They're supposed to be a natural rock formation. Caves don't move. But yes, your cart and the moss frog is back, and your supplies are gathered again, and hopefully this time the Fey intervention has already happened. He says this less to you and more to the air in irritation. So you should be able to, after this lovely meal, be on your way together to the goal.
No, we're leaving as soon as we're all done. No more interruptions.
Appreciate it.
Raven says this and immediately finishes cleaning her plate, pushes it away, and goes to start checking the preparations. She's all business right now.
Bubz goes with her, but you can see him pocketing a few pieces of pumpkin bread for later.
Daxi is making herself a to-go disc and is going to leave all of the food that was walled off from is fine. But the wall itself, that's Daxi's to-go disc.
Noted. Daxi has
What a
an
power
unfortunate
play.
amount of breakfast bread.
Oh yeah.
Obscene amount of cinnamon apples and enough candied cranberries to choke an ostrich. Got it.
Listen, she basically has the metabolism of Bart Allen. Okay?
I don't know. At this point, I am thinking Barry Allen goes, I can't compete.
Daxi and Harrison's food war has been my favorite subplot. It's been so good.
And that's a side note. It's just like, I could have taken what you protected, but I didn't.
For that, he just comes up with what he was planning to try and prevent your eventual attack of his food, which he had a number of fully roasted turkeys on catapults hidden behind him.
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. I think I need to make a perception check real quick. Hold on. Wait a minute. Just gonna have turkeys because they were already cooked. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, where did my character sheet go? Oh, it helps if I get in roll 20, doesn't it? I'm a professional.
Just a little, but it is roll 20, so that might not necessarily be the best life choice.
Give me 2 more seconds. Launch the game. Almost.
The good news is it's roll 20, not fantasy grounds, where it would fight you just on logging in.
Sheesh, well, tell us how you really feel.
Not. Wait. Okay, hold on.
If you have your choices, test out Foundry, see if it's good for you. If you need a virtual tabletop, it's Foundry or Roll20. Otherwise, use your mind. And if you can, of the dice rollers, I found D&D Beyond, at least the D20, to be the most fair. However, their D6s leave much to be desired.
Gotcha. Quick question. Considering this is food related, can I justify rolling just straight constitution for this check that I want to do?
What were you trying specifically to do? And I will narrow.
So I'm
things
trying to
down.
figure out, did Daxi, how long did it take for Daxi to notice that there was the aroma of cooked turkey being hidden?
I will give you a full notice check for this.
Notice. Not no history. Notice. I get advantage on that? Daxi's wisdom is really
No.
bad, actually.
No advantage. 14.
Wait. There's not. Oh, why was I all the way at the top? That was weird. Okay.
Though your notice does bring about, like, they're just now as you're on that side of the table, are you aware of the aroma of the roasted turkey? It seems as though there has been a minor breeze spell in play that has kept the wafting of the turkey scent away from you.
Trixie. Okay, I respect it, but resent it.
But there, you now also have 4 fully roasted turkeys as part of your sacrifice.
Perfect.
Okay, so Daxi has her disc of goodies. What's Oberyn up to?
Yeah, Oberyn would, he's gonna just be very calmly, eating the food, and he'll kind of clean his plate and, kind of sit there just quietly for a bit, eyes closed, just kind of, not meditating per se, but just kind of psyching himself up in a way. And, then just like stand up, give like a gracious nod towards Harrison and, get his plate cleared away as well, and head outside to also help check with the supplies.
And with that last check, you find yourselves heading out from this village on the outskirts of Pugmire itself, the capital. And you follow a winding road off to the Duskwood. As you crest a hill, hours later, the wood stands like a massive wall. It is this region that separates the whole of Pugmire from the wilds of the east. It is dense, dark, tall, primordial. The Duskwood has been here long before Pugmire was ever a thought. It is ancient, knowing, waiting for those who would seek to plunder its secrets, to pass through its inhospitable trails. And there the Duskwood waits for you. You have a map, and with it is the last known location of this cave. This thing that moves, that supposedly holds the Great Compass. But more importantly, there are those who also seek this artifact, who do not necessarily know or respect the dangers involved like you do. You have fought long and hard for that knowledge. And with that forewarning, you move into the Duskwood. You are storytellers all. And so now is a point where I allow you to choose the form of your own pain. So, we are going to go around, and each of you will give us an obstacle that the group must overcome as they get to the cave. And then we will have a group check to see how well you do. Do keep in mind, the easier the obstacle appears, the more I will twist it. With that said, Celeste, would you like to start us off?
Okay. So, given that this wood is as old and as ancient and as absolutely primal as it is, I imagined that it's almost like a living thing itself. And I imagine that the very plants that make up this vast body of living thing that is this forest, the very foliage itself is trying to impede our path. We're talking the underbrush is grasping at the wheels of the cart, the trees are looming, branches falling in our paths, just generally trying to stop us, make us turn back, leave. Maybe because it doesn't want us here, or maybe because it's trying to warn us of what lies ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I can see this forest having what a lot of us Floridians refer to as ankle breakers. Those creeping roots that hide just beneath the leaf litter of the ground. So you will find that your boot just grabs hold of it and will just twist and snap whatever tendons, bones have the unfortunate chance of snagging a hold of them. So, I want you all to make a traverse check. And this will be for the group. So we'll take the average of this.
Ooh, that's a good start. Ooh.
That is an exceptionally good start.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I am both amazed and frightened, because when Roll20 is this generous to start with, that means it will be vengeful later. But yes, in this moment, our heroes are steeled and aware. And as much as the undergrowth, as much as the wood might fight, the will and awareness of our heroes overcomes the first salvo of the Duskwood. Drakku, what is the next grand obstacle for our heroes?
The next grand obstacle. Keeping it light. So
I walk into that one. It hurts.
It's an ankle biter. Much like small doggos. Ha ha ha. Keeping it going. Yeah, so I know that you said this might be getting a little grim, but I know that you said at the end of the last session that there were signs of a Mao, group that had been attempting this as well. I
Yes.
would like to say, particularly to hurt Oberyn, that there is a very suspicious trail of what smells like blood and a very small suit of armor fit for a cat, but in particular for a very young cat, just kind of caught in one of those terrible trees.
Okay. I'm going to say this is sort of a psychological threat.
Yeah.
And is sort of testing your resolve. So I want everyone to give me a wisdom save. Oh, that's good.
Oh,
that's
go.
even better.
Oh no.
Yep. Okay, we just have Bubz left. No. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Bub's got 15.
Bub's got 15. Okay, so this is bad. So between the smell and the sight and the grimness of what is implied, you are not stopped, but you are all shaken. So, I've got good news and I've got bad news. Good news, you can continue on. Bad news, until you succeed as a group, you're all at -2 to any and all saves and ability checks.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
No, it's okay.
It's not you, it's the dice.
Adversity.
Yeah.
That's true. It's roll 20. It's roll 20.
The real villain.
Yes, Marcus. What is our next obstacle?
So I've actually been waiting for a time to use this. Bubz, I had a fear of Bubz written down for a while. Bubz is actually terrified, not just like of it in existence, but conceptually terrified of ice. Any kind of ice. Bubz doesn't like ice. Snow, okay. Ice, no. This stems from Bubz, I think, choking on an ice cube a while back. But Bubz is just terrified of all ice. So I imagine as we're coming across the path, there might be something slick with some iciness to it. I'm going to leave this up into your capable and pain delivering hands. Hope if that's okay.
That's fine. You've set the scene. And so yes, there are places, especially in wooded places, especially where it's dark and deep, like this, that it then breaks open. And you think that this small, shadowed clearing is a breath of fresh air when it is the exact opposite, as what was once muddy ground is now coated in black ice. And so I need you all to give me... I need to choose the form of the distractor. Let's have a balance check, everyone. I will keep in mind that each of these will have the -2, so you don't need to apply that. Okay. Ooh, okay.
Only Bubz did not do well there.
Yeah, let's bring up my calculator. I want to actually do math live on stream. So that's a 13, 16, 14, 4. Oof. So this just doesn't quite make it. As this catches you by surprise, and you end up what should have been a slowing down, and this should have taken you some time, but instead, due to just a combination of being unsettled, fear of shadow and ice, first it's slick and you're discombobulated, but then in the struggling against, the ice turns to slush, and that slush turns to mud. And your wagon is bogged down. And even with such a fantastical beast as the moss frog, it takes you a good 90 minutes of effort before you are out of this small patch in the wood. Daxi, what is our next obstacle?
So the next obstacle we come across is, because there are 4 of us, correct? There are, so for this next room one, it is 2 of our compatriots. It appears, or it like suddenly they are plunged into darkness. You cannot see. And for 2 of the compatriots, they can see, cannot speak. And the goal is to traverse one of those, those puzzles where the floor falls away if you step in the wrong place and you reset, and it damages one of those rooms. So sometimes it's spikes of fire, sometimes it's a small like electrical shop, but each time, so trying to navigate all 4 of us through this. And that's the buffer. The 2 of us essentially blindfolded, 2 of us cannot speak.
I'm quickly reminded of my youth, and not just seeing but reading about the fire swamp in The Princess Bride. And that distinctive sound before a gout of flame shoots up from the earth. All of this while the shades and shadows of the forest, and those it has claimed, vengefully strike with curse and magic our good dogs. And so for this very unique challenge, yes, I think that is just twisted enough that will work. I want you all to give me charisma saving throws. Let's see how this goes. Oh dear. Oh no. Okay. So I've got good news and I've got bad news.
There's good news?
The good news is eventually you transit this, and you're not going to lose hit points. However, given the series of setbacks and failures, I'm going to reset the save and check penalties. However, until one of you strikes a roll of 15 or higher, you all have disadvantage.
Fair-ish.
And so, after that arduous and terrifying trip, you eventually find yourselves at the mouth of this cave. However, what Harrison failed to inform you of is what the cave mouth appears as. It does not appear to be of natural stone, though stone is what it is. But the mouth of this cave is sculpted, at least it appears so, of some massive reptilian skull or head. Its massive maw open as the mouth of the cave. A stony exterior. Interior also of stone, but seemingly this is more akin to the gullet of some great beast. And you already see scattered about the makings of a base camp, now abandoned. There is carts, multiple, tents, a campfire, now since burnt out, but in this place for who knows how long. There's a bit of provisions left scattered about, but most equipment and all the individuals, even the beasts of burden, are missing. What would you all like to do?
Raven immediately strides over and starts scouring through the remains to find any sign of if this was the group her brothers were with.
Go ahead and give me a notice check at disadvantage. No.
Mm-hmm.
You sift through what's there, but there is no... What you find gives you no specific sign of those you call family. There's too many too many trails, too many footprints. And what is left is not enough to give you a sense of precisely who all is here or narrow down who they were. Just that they were prepared, that they made camp here, and then at least it appears that they went inside. Anyone else like to do something?
Can Bubz wants to sniff around a bit. Does Bubz notice anything if he sniffs around? Roll
again, you
too.
can give me a notice check at disadvantage.
That's an 11.
You get to roll again and see if it's worse.
Oh yes, I forgot. Lucky me. And it was. Oh, I love this.
And so,
Bubz just smells something real bad.
No, even worse. All Bubz is able to scent off the air that isn't you lot is the smell of long cooled ash and fear. That is all you have.
Bubs's little nub tail is wagging a bit, but then you can see it just stop and his ears drop a little bit and just kind of takes a step back.
Oberyn, Daxi, is there anything in particular you would like to do?
I mean, Oberyn would also like to kind of look around and just see if he can kind of figure out what happened.
Go ahead and give me notice at disadvantage. 16. Oh, there we go. There we go. And so, Obbs manages to break the group's disadvantage.
Yay.
With a 16 and a 21. It is not scent that leads you to some answers, but it is Obbs's sight that does lead to something. Again, there's a lot of footprints, one over another, but as you come closer to the mouth of the cave, you notice that there is more order here. And while there are some footprints that clump over one another, there are a few clean prints. And from them you can tell that there is a mix of individuals who have entered this cave, at least within the past day. Cat, dog, rat, and badger all have traversed through this cave. You will also notice one other detail. There are no footprints leading back out.
Yeah.
Don't like that. All right.
Daxi, would you like to do anything?
Daxi would actually like to do smell magic to see is because there are no tracks coming out or anything. Like, okay, was there any sort of like, just see what happened? Maybe get a sense of it, or is it further in, basically?
Okay, so you cast smell magic, and there are a number of bits that you get from the camp, and then we'll head to the cave. From the camp, that you can tell that the fire itself wasn't lit with flint and steel, but with magic. Someone used some low-level magic to cast a spark to catch the wood light. You also see hints about different places in the camp of wisps of conjuration and evocation magic, most likely summoning of light of some sort, based upon its weak traces. So it at least has the appearance that there were multiple casters here, at least at this camp, and that they were using magic for convenience. And then you notice, as you get to the mouth of the cave, the distinct scent of one of your more used spells, Floating Disc. So this group obviously was transporting a a good deal of equipment further into the cave and had somebody with that level, that knowledge, that expertise to cast that spell on Retainer here, to move, probably by looking at the carts, a significant amount of equipment in. And then just as the spell's starting to die down, just a little bit of air comes out of the cave. And in the dying wisps of that last breath the spell gives you, you get the hints of evocation and necromancy.
Ah, gosh dang it. Necromancy's never a good sign. I thought the Fae were bad enough. Oh, I mean, we'll be fine. Don't worry about what I just said. It's fine. We'll be fine.
So what do you all do next?
Bubz is definitely very, very nervous and is definitely listening to what Daxi said. So Bubz is kind of like scooting a little slowly back, not quite being so in the front, more in the back middle, I think is the saving face way of wording that.
Yeah, Oberyn goes ahead and like readies his battle gear. So gets his shield like mounted on his arm, gets his sword kind of out, and does a few waves of it just to kind of loosen up. But yeah, he's getting ready.
Raven gets a torch out and strikes it. Takes point, starts trying to get a look at what's down there.
There's a lot of sand, bits of mud that lead into the cave mouth. But eventually, that sand, that mud, gives way to stone, which is strange for it to do so this early. Any cave, especially natural one, usually has a good bit because of water, of rain, washing detritus time and time again into the cave. There should be so much sand, dirt, even the decay of things that come in and out, refuse, should be littering this cave. But it is only maybe 10 yards in that the ground gives way to stone. Not dirt, not mud. Just seemingly unworked stone and little pools of water. And any trail, any footprints that were leading in, now against the stony, watery surface, there is no sign, no indication of any life past that point.
They're in there. They have to be.
Well, let's go. We need to be very, very careful. I couldn't see anybody coming out of the cave yet. So, friend or foe may still be down here as well.
Oh, I got a bad feeling about this.
You can turn back if you want.
No, no. No, I'm here. I'm here for it.
Then let's go.
Who wants to go first?
So you
Raven doesn't answer, she just starts walking.
Huh? Bubz follows.
Oberyn, yeah. Oberyn pretty quickly follows as well.
and so you move further in. It's a good number of steps before the cave opens up. It doesn't quite twist and turn. But what does twist and turn is the air that seems to be moving either past you, going out the cave, or past you going in. It swirls, almost to the point of disorienting. And then again, it's disconcerting as you move further in, is this constant turbulent breeze flows ever past you. But further in you go, and then eventually it opens up. And there's an acrid smell in the air. It's a mix of smoke, ash, but tinged by something astringent, something acidic. It's not enough to sting the eyes, but it's ever so slightly there, like it threatens. It threatens to bite at every single mucous membrane, to clamp down and rend. But it's not going to do it, not just yet. This is the first time you see a sign, someone who may have come before you, as you see clattered on the ground a metallic shield bearing a heraldry of one of the monarchies of Mao. And with it, a small dagger. The metal is all intact, but the leather that would wrap the grip has just been left in tatters, eaten away by something. Fire, acid, it's uncertain. But the letter, what lies still there, attached by a little bit of adhesive, is in tatters. What would you all like to do?
Oberyn's gonna go give it a thorough sniff and see if he can figure out what caused it, / if this is a familiar scent.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a nose check. No, just nose.
Dirty 20.
All right. With that, I want to give you another check.
Okay.
Give me a no arcana. And because you got a 20 threshold, this is an advantage.
Oh, okay. I will need that. 5 and 4.
Okay.
Oberyn's
okay.
pretty smart, y'all.
So
Oberyn doesn't know anything about magic. This tracks.
that tells me a number of things. Like you come over and you give these things a good sniff, and your eyes settle on these objects. And with that, and the picture that you see, and what you smell, the shield, again, all that is left on it is the metal. But as you get close, as the torchlight flickers and dances across this, it shines, it glimmers, it gleams. There's no tarnish on it. Not a bit. Looking, the metal nearly pristine, scrubbed bright. Same can be said for the edge of the dagger. Bits and pieces look more polished than others. And you have that acidic scent. It's enough to water the eyes, that astringent scent. And so you are certain that something unnatural has caused this, but you can't put your finger on what. Even the moisture on the ground says that something left this behind, but you cannot identify what. What do you all do?
Obbs.
Yeah, as he sniffed it, y'all know when a pet gets that weird scent in their mouth and they kind of do the little furrowed nose, kind of lift the jaw a little bit. So he makes just this disgusted face and, you know, little bit of watery eyes. He's just, oh, I don't know what did this, but ooh, this doesn't smell right at all. I think we need to be very, very careful going forward. And he's just, yeah, he's like, he paws at his nose a little bit, trying to get the smell out.
Bubz walks over to Oberyn with a little bit of pumpkin bread, just kind of hold it by Oberyn's nose, see if this helps a little bit.
Oh, he very gladly just big ol' sniff. just thank you, Bubz. That
Bubz breaks it up into 4 pieces and hands it to every one of us so we can hold it up under our nose if it gets too stinky.
Smelling salts. I love it.
Bubz, you're so precious. Yes. Yeah, Oberyn takes it.
Unless anyone else wants to do anything here, we'll head further in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you move further and further into the cave, The light from the torch dances across the ground, across the walls, and you catch little bits and bobs of metal scattered across the cave floor. First, it's a belt buckle, and then it's grommets. You would think from the size of these are eyelets for boots. And then possibly grommets for armor, and then a few more of the smaller buckles that be associated with armor straps. And that is when the cave opens up even further, even more. It is quite wide in here. Your light no longer dancing across the mineral deposits in the ceiling, just the walls behind you, just the entrance behind you, as that turbulent breeze feels less like a breeze and more like a breath, like an inhalation and an exhalation, but very slow. And then a foul word comes across the wind. Oh, yes. More visitors. Come in. Come in, friends. I welcome you home. And that's where we'll take our break, folks. Go ahead, get yourself a snack. Maybe some pumpkin bread. A nice caffeinated beverage. And we will come back with the finale of Pugmire, What Lies Buried. See you soon, folks.
man has gone missing, and in their absence, the world has changed. In many ways, it has become a wide frontier filled with peril and adventure. The dogs of Pugmire seek to uncover the artifacts that man has left behind, protect the weak, and guard against the forces of the unseen.
Hello, wonderful people, and welcome back to Pugmire, What Lies Buried here on Weave the Tale. We are just now in the second half of our finale. Before we get right back into it, content warning. This next section is going to be Secret of Them, Watership Down levels of disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. And so, at this opening of a cave, the wind turning into a turbulence, and now more of a breath, you step further in, and you hear that foul voice on the wind, on that breath, welcoming you home. Pleased, delighted to have guests. And as you take a few further steps in, you then realize what left that trail of metal behind you now. As you hear it, you don't see it, but you hear it. Something sloshes, oozes its way into the cavity that you just left. Your eyes don't see it, but you hear it as it just settles in place. In the hole, as though the hole itself were made just for it. This clear, gelatin-like critter just sits there, waiting now. Waiting for any one of you to run away. But that's not the real threat here. At least not yet. Instead, two bright, yellow, reptilian eyes break up the darkness. And as you inch closer, and the torchlight finally skitters across the ground, hits those bits of mineral and reflect in the orange glow. You see a pair of feet, but they do not belong together, yet they are there. One distinctly canine, the other distinctly feline. And as your eyes move further up, you see Now, an enlarged frame, that of one of the Badger Lords. As those legs meet torso. And then as you climb further and further up, as the light cascades across this seemingly cobbled together armor, fused by no craftsman's hand, only the obscene magics of this place. You see an arm that is distinctly reptilian in nature, and then another arm distinctly feline. And then sitting atop this swollen frame with those yellow reptilian eyes sits the head of one of the largest humanoid rats you've ever seen. Its teeth shining in the torchlight. This abomination, from bits and pieces of those who have entered its domain, stands before you. Strapped to its back, you can just make out the edges of a short bow, at its side a quiver of arrows, being brandished in the reptilian hand is a great axe. Yes, you will all do nicely. As I add you to the collection, I may finally be allowed to break my slumber and rise once more. Come, misbegotten heroes. Come and make me whole. And I'd like you to roll initiative.
I have to know. I have to know. Does Raven recognize that leg?
No.
Okay, good.
No, Raven does not.
I did the thing again.
Okay, well.
Can you see what I
Let's-
rolled? Because I hope it's not a 0.
You rolled 5.
Amazing.
Yeah, you rolled a 5. Okay. All right. And so, Daxi, you go first. Then it goes. Then Raven. Then Bubz. And finally, Obbs. That is our order. So Daxi, what do you do?
I mean, I think considering how well it did before, I think having a good old faithful canine to start this off would be a swell idea. Go ahead and get that going.
Sounds more than reasonable. And so with your training, with the power, you weave together this now familiar spell and call forth this invisible guardian. Do you place it already in contact with your foe, or do you have it just a bit off on the field?
Daxi would have it just a bit off, especially since this is a thing that seems to amalgamize other things. It's like, okay, if you enter like so bit 4 to like so it's just like, okay, once it steps into threat range, then it gets bit.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. As you cast, it sniffs the air and just smiles.
I was gonna say just like as Daxi, because Daxi still doesn't realize. She's just like, right, this thing was made out of a bunch of spellcasters. This is probably not gonna go well. Oh well, what's done is done. Moving on.
So it's gonna go, and we've got four heroes. I've got D4 handy, so let's roll the dice. Well, wouldn't you know it, Raven, it's coming for you. And so this abomination rushes forward and swings its great axe. But I think Roll20 has betrayed me, as I don't think an 11 hits. Let's see the second attack. And a 10 doesn't hit either, I believe. And so it elopes forward. And this mishmash of sinew, bone, swings the axe. And Raven, with your size and speed, you manage to dodge out of the way of the first strike, and as it brings it back up, flips the axe from its point in the ground, and then just tries to pull back and cut at the back of your leg. You again just sort of leap back as it cuts the air with how strong it is. But you are left in this moment unscathed. And now, Raven, it is your turn.
If I may, I've been playing Dark Souls lately, so I imagine that there was on the second swing a roll inward, and as I come up out of that, I bring the sword to bear, and just sort of like up into its belly, trying to just rend.
Let's see if it connects. No, it does not. And so, as you swing your greatsword, as you did that roll and avoided its strikes, it manages just to, with villainous malice and effortless movement, it just steps out of the way of a strike. And it's going to use one of its legendary actions. Now to strike back at you. It's going to attempt to bite you. 21.
Yeah.
As you rush towards it, and it just lurches forward, this amalgamation of flesh, and the mouth opens up and its rat-like teeth just bear down, finding a gap in your armor and wrenching at flesh and sinew, pulls free. You take 6 damage. And now it's Bubs' go. What are you doing?
So I'm going to start Bubs' turn with a story. When I was a kid, I walked into a movie rental store, and there was the scariest DVD cover I have ever seen. And there was this shock of electricity around me that I swear the whole world went black, and just electricity and fear wrapped my entire body. That is what Bubs is feeling while seeing this creature. Bubs, however, takes a deep, cool, and calm breath and remembers that with the help of these really awesome pups, he actually overcame his fear of ice a bit today. So Bubs is feeling a little more confident. He pulls down his cap, stares directly at the being, and will throw some darts.
All right.
Oh, it's doing that thing again. So that's 1d4 plus 2, right? Yes. We'll actually
/R space 1d4.
Oh, /R, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
That's a 5.
That will be damage, but first you need to roll a d20 to see if you hit.
Oh, jeez. That's right.
It's okay. It's been a while since we've done that back. So /R space 1d20.
There we go. 15.
All right. That will connect. And so your dart flies free, and as it does so, I want to say it just connects with the ear of the rat. And so you've given the rat now an inordinate-sized, obscene ear piercing. as it takes the first lick of damage. And now it's going to use the second of its legendary actions. Bubs, I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw.
I feel like that's unnecessary.
As it turns its head. And so for you, you need to roll a d20 plus 4.
D20 plus 4?
Yes.
Well,
12. That does not make the DC. So you're going to take all of this.
Unfortunate. Yes, thank you. My pleasure.
So you take 19 acid damage.
I never meant to be so bad to you.
As it
Oh my gosh.
Makes this horrific phlegmy sound as it turns its head and lets loose with an obscene amount of acidic phlegmy fluid that just hits you and eats at clothing, flesh, everything. It is a horrific smell, and it burns at the eyes as much as it burns the flesh. And now, Obbs, it is your turn.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we know what Oberyn's gonna do. So now, for the second time ever on a stream, I get to say Oberyn's gonna rage as a bonus action. Because he, nope, don't like this. So again, that long, baleful howl that y'all have heard him do before. He had his stuff ready. The pumpkin bread was also kind of in the sword hand, and unfortunately that got dropped so he could grip the sword a little bit better. But he is now going to charge forward, and we are going to try to slash at this thing with my longsword. So, one more time with how this works. Is it I'm adding strength and I'm adding my proficiency bonus?
Your proficiency. Yes.
Okay.
So it's a d20 plus your strength plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
That one.
That one.
So
Amazing.
in your rage, as you howl and the curtain of red comes down, you rush forth and you take a lunge at this horrific creature, and it just, in a split second, just as you're making forth with the lunge, steps forward, the blade just going and launching past. And now a lair action happens. As I need everyone to give me a Constitution saving throw. All right. Oof. Well, there's good news and there's bad news. Good news, Raven, Obbs, you won't take anything. Bad news is for Bubz and Daxi. As you will each take 3 fire damage as smoke begins to billow from deeper inside the cave, and you breathe it in, searing a little bit of your nostrils and your throat as the smoke comes in. And now we're back to the
Bubz
top
is
of the
down,
round.
by the way.
Good to know. But with that smoke, there is light and heat, and you see that you are not alone in this cavern. There are a number of individuals tied up along the far walls of this cave. And deeper down, you see an entrance that goes further in. And on this large pillar, this plinth, you can just see as the fire retreats, sitting there on the top is something shiny and brass in the shape of a compass. And so, Daxi, it's your go.
Okay, so I see the shiny brass object, which I assume is a compass, but you said there's also people tied up.
Oh yes, a good number.
Hold on, let me double check something. I think it's not. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's not. Okay, it's not concentration. That's what I want to double check. So for the tied up people, cause that's no good. Gotta go ahead and get them freed. You know what? I think I think Daxi just... Is there any way to get to the tied up people without entering melee range with the amalgam?
Currently, because Raven and Oberyn are right next to him, you are nowhere near his reach right now. So you can just rush off if you want to.
That's what Daxi's going to do. She wants to get those people free.
If you move and
If that takes her
use
all
your
around, that's
action
fine.
to dash, yeah, but you will be there at the end of your turn.
That's fine.
So if you have a
That's what she
bonus
has.
action spell or anything like that, you can do that.
Oh, bonus action spell. I don't actually know if any of my spells are bonus action. I can double check. Nice if I would have noted it by the spell, but you know, foresight's for people who think ahead of time.
I know they're a rarity, but for those times when you have them, it's just good to have.
I don't think any of them are bonus spells. I'm going to check one more just to double check. I think most of them are the full or action. Where is M? Nope, that's an action. Okay, nope, no bonus spells.
Okay. So that is the end of your turn. Now it's its go, and it has 2 immediate choices. So we're gonna happy sad die these. We already have an angry pupper, and then we have a less angry pupper. So the angrier faces will be for Oberyn, the happier faces will be for Raven. Smiley face. Smiley face. Good to know. And so the Great Axe swings yet again. I think 22 hits.
Yep. Yep.
For 14 damage.
Yep.
Does a 16 connect?
Barely.
That connects for 9.
Mm-hmm.
So these swings, now that battle has truly been joined, it's almost as though the muscles of this amalgamation are finally warmed up. They're finally moving in tune, in sync, as beforehand it was sort of everything was fighting and finding its rhythm. Now these swings come down with terrible accuracy, finding the back of one of your legs, and then with the other swing finding as it comes up, raking across the underarm, finding the joints in your armor. And that is its turn as it just begins to chuckle. Raven, it's your go.
Raven spits blood on the ground, glares up at it, and then calls over her shoulder, "Bubz, you need to get up now!" And I'm gonna inspiring word. So Bubz can spend one of his stamina die plus a d6 because I upgraded it with my level up. And he can use that to heal. Or take spell slots back, but I don't think you're using spells right now, so...
Yeah.
I think the healing's the thing to take here.
I agree.
Okay. So...
That is my bonus action. And then... I think y'all already know what's about to happen with the action.
Yep.
We're going in. We're going in. 18.
18 connects for 14
Solid.
damage. That is an incredibly solid hit.
And she, if I may, she sort
By
of
all
like
means.
tries to find the point at which like multiple different kinds of creature are joined together and sort of rend along that line. And she glares into its eyes, teeth covered in blood. Give me back my brothers.
You will join them in due time. It rumbles. And I'm going to hold off and use one of the later legendary actions, because that one looks fun right now. So, yeah, next up is Bubz. Go ahead and roll that healing.
So what was the what is the healing roll again? It's, I forgot what it was.
That
Sorry.
is going to be 1d6 plus 4 plus, I believe in your case, 1d10. So 1d6 plus 1d10 plus 4.
Okay. 10 plus 4. Thank you so much, Raven. Please, let's see. 13.
You heal 13. And so with that, you can spend half your move to get back on your feet. And you still have half your move to move.
Bubz is going to literally do that. Move and get to his feet and then move back a little bit from the action to kind of reassess for the next attack.
Okay. We're going to hold off because I want to use the thing at the bottom of the sheet. So, Obbs, you're next.
All right, yeah, he's raging. He's gonna try another slash with his long sword and see if this one will connect. 21.
21 hits. 21
Awesome.
hits. Would you like to use your luck for damage?
Sure. What do I add to that?
So you'll add a d6.
Oh yeah. And yep. 14 damage.
Nice. Solid hit.
That's good. Yeah.
That is a solid hit. And so, Obbs, in your rage, which does the plus 4 include your strength? And your
no,
raging?
the four was the proficiency bonus, not the strength. So
that's
3 more
not added
points to
to
that.
damage. Proficiency is not added to damage. It is just your strength plus your rage.
I read on
As
the
I'm
thing,
seeing-
it says add proficiency bonus to melee weapon damage
Oh.
rolls.
Okay, then I think for your build it does that.
If that's
So
okay.
You also get your
Okay.
you also get your strength and
Okay.
and your rage. So what's your strength?
+3.
Okay, and your rage is 2, so that's an additional 5. That's significant.
So 19 damage.
Yes. Quite significant.
Yay.
And yeah, now it's going to use a conjunction of its legendary and lair action as it lets out this tremendous bellow. And I need all of you to give me a dexterity saving throw. It was a low threshold, but Obbs, you didn't make it. So
He's
good
distracted.
news, only Obbs takes this. as the bellow reverberates and shakes free bits of the cave's ceiling, and this massive slab of stone just clocks Obbs across the head.
I don't know what scares
Good
me more.
news, you're
the
raging,
fact
so
that it was
that's-
as bad as it was, or the fact that it could have been so much worse.
The good news is, because you're raging, that's halved, so you only take 7.
Oh, okay. Oh, perfect.
But yeah, you just get clocked across the head as multiple stones just fall all over this battlefield, making terrain far more difficult and more disturbingly so. In the torchlight, where the stone broke away reveals flesh, glistening flesh. And now, Daxi, what are you doing?
Trying to cut these folks free, get them untied and whatnot.
Okay. Go ahead and let's see here. Give me a survive test.
Survive, eh? You sure you don't want to pick a skill that's not wisdom?
I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a 0.
Yeah, it is.
Actually
strong, not wise.
Well, the good news is you get one person free. If you met the threshold, you would get more than one. But you find undoing knots and cutting the heavy hemp ropes a difficulty. But eventually you get one of these individuals free. The good news is they're still armed. The better news is you unleashed the biggest one here.
Yeah. Oh,
You found a badger barbarian amongst the individuals here. Normally an enemy to the dogs of Pugmire, but in this most dire of moments, possibly the best ally you could have.
Well, that'll do her.
As the badger snarls, and it unleashes a howl louder than Obbs.
Ooh.
And pulling 2 hand axes, rushes the abomination. And so we will see how your new friend does. Make 2 hits. $14 does not. And so it rushes. This hefty individual rushes forward, leaps the rest of the distance, and with both axes comes clattering down. One of the axes the edge is not aligned. It hits the bow of the armor and clatters against the plate, but the other finds a gap and bites into flesh and rends and tears as he pulls through foam coming from the edge of his mouth, the eyes nearly as red as Oberyn's in this moment. And now it's the amalgamation's turn. It's got 3 problems now. So we're rolling a d6. So one of these swipes is going at Obbs, the other is going at your new friend. As with the great axe, it swings. Does a 14 hit you, Oberyn?
That misses.
Okay. And a 15 just manages to miss your friend. And so with those vicious attacks, that now those blows raining in on the creature, that moment where everything was moving in order as blood begins to stain the ground, that cohesion is starting to break down. And with its swings are going more and more harried, more and more wide. But it's going to use a legendary action. It's going to use 2, in fact. As the terrible magics that bind this creature are going to try and fix what has been rend. And it heals 13 damage. And now, Raven, it's your turn.
I think out of the corner of Raven's eyes, she catches Daxi starting to, obviously, huge badger entering the fray is a good indicator, but out of the corner of her eyes, she catches that Daxi is the one freeing people, and she just turns her attention not fully to Daxi, but just out of the corner of her mouth. Find one that looks like me, but twice the size, and cut him down, now. And going in with the sword, because, what else am I going to do? Hey! Oh, it's a 3.
19 hits. 6 damage is not a large rent, especially after the healing. But you managed to chip away it trying to get out of your way, but you managed to just change the line of your lunge at the last second. And as you are so much smaller than this massive being, your great sword meets inner thigh and just hits. The only thing keeping it from piercing deeper is the tip of your sword hitting bone. And that is your turn. And now we turn to Bubz. What you doing?
So Bubz is now significantly more healed, but a little more wary. And by that I mean Bubz is still going to just try to attack. So Bubz is going for the one thing that worked for him definitely in the past, and that is a running dropkick.
Go for it.
Okay. Why is it not working? Why is the button not working?
Apparently Roll20 just does not like your sheet.
Well, it's like, I don't know what I did. What did I do to hurt you,
It just
Roll20?
does not like you.
Okay.
Roll20 just doesn't like certain people. So /R plus 1d20 plus 4. 9. You rush in for this drop kick, and it full on Samoa Joe's just steps out of the way.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
casually just steps away as you fly past.
Hit the ground sliding
Yeah.
off. Oh. Knew I should have had someone throw me.
And with that, we go to Obbs. You're back up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that worked really well for him last time, so he's just gonna keep hacking at this thing. And we'll see if I can get a good roll again. 15 to hit?
15 just misses.
Darn. That's okay.
Just,
Yeah, he's raging. That's
just
fine.
misses.
Yeah.
You this time I believe it's like a hacking slash, and in your rage, you're not paying attention to where to try and find chinks in the armor. It is just this wild hacking, and we see sword hit pauldron and drag deep. There's a bit of a rent along the edge of the pauldron, but it holds. And so metal does not bite into flesh, it just bites into more metal. As Daxi, you're up. No lair action this round.
I mean, if I see a fighter that looks like one Raven described, Daxi would try and do that one first. Otherwise,
It's
one looks like
kind of a high energy
kinda
situation.
hard.
Roll me a notice check.
Yeah, I
It's dark
figured.
in here.
Yeah, again, not a strong suit. Oh, 17.
17. They are a number of people down from where you're standing, but you can make move and then get them free.
Okay.
I will give you another survival test to see if you can get 2 people or just this one.
You know, there are other skills besides wisdom-based ones. I'm just saying.
I know they are, but I'm just a fan. And that's an 8. So
Yep.
no, you just get the biggin that looks like Raven.
If I do a bad idea and let you make it worse, can I do one more thing this turn?
I'm listening.
So, Dex is very frustrated. I mean, getting free of that person's great and everything, but Daxi is tired of this, and Daxi is a magic user. So, if you would allow, this will go terribly, but Daxi be like, I mean, lightning burns things. I don't know. That could be fun. She's going to try and attempt to use a spell to do this. It will go poorly. Yeah, try and, undo the bindings that way instead. Because this one at a time thing is she's had it up to here. If not, that's fine.
Okay, I'll let you
She'll do
attempt
it
it.
next
I'm just
turn
going to tell
anyway.
you it's going to go back. It's going to go badly in a way that you weren't intending.
Oh, even better. Perfect.
So go ahead and roll me a Neo Arcana to see just how badly this goes.
Oh, I don't know if low or high is better for this now anymore. Oh, that's terrible for her.
That was low. That's bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
I'm sure.
So the lightning you call doesn't hit any of the ropes, doesn't hit any of the individuals. That's the good part. The bad part is it manages to hit one of the gaps in the walls where there is flesh. And I need everyone to give me a balance test right now.
consequences to my actions? This is nonsense. Respect.
2, that's bad. 4, that's bad.
18.
15 is good. Raven,
I see 8.
Bubz, I've got bad news. You are now prone, and you're sliding towards the back of the room. Daxi, you managed to stay your feet. Obbs, you're managed to stay on your feet. And I feel like being generous, so I'm going to roll a d8. The number is 3. You've got 3 rounds. I'm not going to say till what happens, but you've got 3 rounds. And so now it's its turn. It seems it is doing that mad cackling of a villain about to be victorious. And the cackling starts beginning to be matched by the cave. As the wind starts beating from deeper. We're going to roll the happy sad die to see what happens to Mr. Squishy. Okay. Mr. Squishy moves away from you as opposed to closer toward you. That's good. Because we love Mr. Squishy. And so, yeah, right now the only individual near him is Obbs, as the big guy slipped. And so, Obbs, you will take the brunt of this. 7's gonna miss you, but does a 14.
Negative.
14 doesn't hit?
Does not.
Okay. And so, too busy being happy, just swinging wildly with the axe, not necessarily paying attention fully to where you are. But yeah, you all shifted. I will give you this, Daxi. You can make an attack with your dog now.
Oh, finally. All right. Doggo, go. Dang it. That probably doesn't hit.
12 does not connect. And yeah, that's his go, as he is just gleeful. And now up is Raven. You are currently prone. You are currently a good 15 feet away from where you were, and now this entire room's on an incline.
Okay. So, I have a question. Trying
Yes.
to remember the positioning that was originally set up. The compass was in the back of the cave, where I'm sliding
yes.
toward. Where I'm sliding
Yes.
toward.
Yes.
I'm gonna try and let the momentum ride and keep going toward the compass.
Okay, give me a balance test.
I am historically terrible at these. That wasn't
10.
so bad.
No, we get a very specific dramatic action, as we're going to have a little bit of a Spielbergian moment here. So, you're trying to ride the momentum down. Congratulations, you succeed. However, you get a better look at what's going on, as you are now one hand is on your greatsword, the other hand is holding the plinth that the compass is sitting upon, and beneath you is no longer the mouth of a cave. Beneath you is a roaring pit of fire. If you haven't caught on yet, the reason the cave moves is it is indeed alive. The ancient evil you are now in is a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And you are all inside it, and it is waking up.
Mm-hmm. Can I still
So,
make a grab
Bubz.
for the compass? Or nah?
You would have to drop your greatsword.
I can try to make a grab for the compass. I don't hold anything, so.
I guess I'll leave it to someone else then.
Okay, good to know. And on that note, Bubz, it's your go.
Okay, Bubs would like to try to grab that compass as he is trying to get. Because I'm still prone, right? I'm still sliding.
You're still sliding, so roll me a balance test.
Balance.
So this will be a d20 plus 4.
What the
It's
heck?
nat 1.
What?
Roll me another d20, please.
I would love to. 11.
Okay.
No.
Good
no,
news.
no.
You didn't fall to your fiery demise.
Yay. Ish.
Bad news. You are hanging on by one paw to the other side of the plinth. So you are now face to face with Raven as you're both dangling off this thing, hanging above a roaring pit of flame and hate. Obbs, it's your turn.
Yeah. He's focused. He's focused on this. He's gonna keep hacking at this creature, but I'm gonna do something a little different because I got a fancy
Okay.
item and I haven't gotten to use it yet. And I took proficiency this last level up. So he is going to have a small moment of clarity in the middle of this rage. And seemingly off character, he actually sheathes his sword really quick, grabs at the wrap around his neck, and he is going to do a one-handed attack. He's going to fling it out and attack with his serrated scarf.
Make this attack at advantage.
Ooh, okay. So let me I'll type it and then and is this still going to be my strength added to this?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so the first one is 25.
Okay.
The second one is 22. So 25
Well,
it is.
It most definitely hits. Go
Okay.
ahead and roll that damage.
Okay, so that's a d8 plus my strength plus my rage plus my proficiency. 16 damage.
Another significant and potent hit. As this, what looks like fabric and a bit of bone and metal, comes off your neck and drags across the face of this abomination, and there is no helm. And so the serrated teeth drag into the cheek, rending flesh from bone. And for the first time in this entire encounter, the beast seems to feel pain and is surprised. It has a mix of hate and concern in its eyes as it glowers at you. And in that moment, Daxi, it's your turn.
Okay, so that spell didn't go as intended, so maybe I should just go back to untying the regular way. Whatever. So yeah, he actually still wants to get the damage out that way.
Okay.
And maybe one of these survival checks will be higher. Will be in the double digits.
Let's hope for that. Let's hope for double digits. That would be great.
See, I believe in you.
15! So you managed to get 2 of them free. And they proceed to try and untie more folks.
There we go. There we go. Get this train going. There you go. Look at that teamwork.
However, the one that looks like Raven but bigger isn't helping untie. Isn't in the fight with the amalgam. Instead, rushes off, grabbing a torch in one hand and a warhammer found on the ground, and rushing against the incline, moves back to the way you came, and there is a large roar coming from the pits of their lungs as you see gouts of flame, the sound of something squishy, and the smacking of gelatin trying to deal with this guardian of the way out. And now it is the amalgam's turn. And it just looks at you, Obbs. It thinks long and hard. And then it just smiles. As it leaps, and it falls back at speed. And I want each of you to roll me a d20.
Straight D20?
Just a straight d20 roll. Yeah. Oh dear. That wasn't good. And so, the good news is you're out of rounds. The bad news is it's time to narrate what happens next. And so the amalgam falls back, falls away. Oberyn, you get one last slash across its neck, but it's already too late. Even as blood spurts from that wound, it falls back, hits the plinth. Its reptilian hand grasps the compass and falls back into the flames. Between the rest of those that are freed from their bonds, they come and retrieve Bubz and Raven. And with Raven's brother's help, the cube manages to rush out the mouth of this cave, plopping forth. The rest of you clattering out, scrambling for your lives. But as the last, which is Bubz' tiny tail just past the teeth of this beast as the cave mouth snaps shut, the earth rumbles. And wings sprout out of the old earth. Flap like a hurricane, sending all anthropomorphic creature, the camp, timbers older than Pugmire itself, heaved out of the earth, flying through the air. Flap, flap, and these terrible wings. This red-scaled beast births forth. The last dragon that anyone knows of, but whose name has long been lost to time, is birthed forth from the earth and takes flight. To where we do not know. As we turn the page, we see our heroes clattered on the ground, loved ones found, allies now in this most dire of circumstances. Shocked at what has happened, at what folly has wrought. Just as the royal guard come into view to give comfort, to give succor, to give aid, we see in the distance from the ocean the towers of Pugmire and the many towers of the monarchies of Mau. And right as the sun is setting, against the backdrop of that half circle, we see the shadow of a great worm. Now, my friends, in the days that follow, what happens to each of you? Raven, what is the next chapter?
I think Raven, having been reunited with her brothers, both Crow, who was braver in that moment than she had ever seen him be, and Dapper, I think they go back to the monastery where they were raised. I think they've had their fill of adventure, and they just want to return to quiet monastery life. They return to Sister Coco, and they're defenders of the monastery in a way. They have those skills now, and defenders of the town in which it rests, but they don't go seeking danger anymore.
What is next for Oberyn?
I think Oberyn will, after they, kind of part ways, he's going to go back to his little nomadic life. You can probably find him contemplating, kind of meditating underneath a tree on one of the outskirts of Pugmire, one of the roads that leads towards the monarchies of Meow. Or Mau, not Meow, that was a slip. But yeah, just kind of serving as a little guidepost as he had done before, and helping those that were moving from city to city wherever he can.
Question. Does Oberyn truly seek solitude, or if there were one or two from those who survived the cave who wished to join Oberyn on his wandering, would he say yes to them?
He would. He would. So he may have a couple of little acolytes of his own now, helping him out.
One small one and one very big one. As
The badger?
as the badger and a hedge knight known as Sir Munchkin of the monarchies of Mao are sort of the dunk and egg wandering around with Oberyn. So what's next for Bubz?
Bubz, using the modest fame, I guess this would cast upon him in his home region. He uses it to start a team building group for any adventurers putting together a team. You come to him. He's a consultant, I think is the term that they told him it was called. But yeah, he just kind of settled down back in town and opened up a teamwork consulting firm.
I'm going to twist that slightly, if you will let me.
Please do.
The Bubz Hero Academy for Young Adventurers.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely.
And so in Muttville, the rival to Pugmire, there is now an academy for young heroes. And what is next for Daxi?
Oh, what's next for Daxi? Well, Daxi's got to follow up with the Duchess, right? Why don't you check back in? I mean, that compass was kind of interesting, but now there's a dragon involved. Now that kind of power, that's much more interesting to Daxi.
And so, as we turn the page, we see a very strange, terrifying, yet hopeful sight. As we see Daxi sitting at a familiar table. On one side, gathered with so much food. But sitting opposite Daxi is the Duchess. And sitting next to her is Hanklin. The two of them with rings on their fingers. As the three of them discuss the power of dragons and how they may be bent to the will of others. And before we close the book on this tale, we see a number of sights. We see the village after the Stick Festival. Many marriages brought about by that festivity. We see Bull and her rangers consulting with the Royal Guard as trees are being felled, as there is a gathering of metal. Many a scorpion is built, towers raised along the borders of Pugmire, readying, waiting for the great word to come. We see Harrison in his room with all of his small little scrying artifacts, fretting away at what to do. Not knowing how, even with his wealth, his power, he can help in this moment. And we see Prince Mura, the old dog. Though we see him in the background of many a different picture we've already seen. Outside the monastery, hidden in the picture frame of Oberyn on the trail, outside of Bubz's academy, and maybe sneaking a slice of pumpkin pie on the edge of Duchess's table. And we see one last shot of the old man getting aboard a boat with 5 young pups, setting sail for whatever lies on that crimson horizon. And that is where we close this story of Pugmire, What Lies Buried. Thank you all so much for being here, folks. And now, as your humble narrator comes to a close, let us find where you can see these amazing storytellers and what they are up to. And now I'm going to go, as is my wont, a very chaotic random order. So first, Marcus, how are you doing, friend? Where can we find you?
I am doing good now that we all didn't get eaten to death by a cave dragon and an amalgamate monster. I'm doing great. Yeah, you can follow me at BestKindaWorst on Twitter and Twitch. You can also check me out on Gen Con TV, Fridays on Table Takes, which I also produce. And yeah, this is awesome. I had so much fun with this. I am going to take this and I'm going to throw this back at you, Pope.
Okay, I will take that and then immediately huck it over to Drakku. How are you, friend? Where can we find you?
Hey, I'm Drakku. You can find me at Drakku on Twitter. You can find me here on Twitch at Drakku3690. I am a variety streamer, quote unquote, whenever I have the free time. So, haven't really been online a ton lately, but that should hopefully change once the school semester is over, because I decided to go back to school for whatever reason possessed me. Yay. But yeah, if you want to catch me playing more TTRPGs, obviously this has been such a fun show. I'm happy to see it at its conclusion. It was a blast, and I will definitely miss playing Oberyn. But you can also find me over on Tuesday nights on Rule of Lore, playing as Kula, the Kobold Artificer, in a rather chaotic Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. Very fun. And you can also listen to me play Quill, the Kenku Warlock, in DN Disaster Story, which is a podcast, a 5e actual play podcast, where all of us took intelligence as our dump stat. So it's also chaotic in its own fun, enjoyable way. But yeah, that's me. Hopefully I will see you guys around in some future shows.
Fantastic. Someone who is always fantastic with pun, not necessarily pug, pun and story is Alicia. Where can we find you, friend? What are you up to?
Oh, hey, that's me. Yes, I'm Alicia, or Petty Energy over on Twitch, where I normally stream Sunday nights with my pals doing games. Not tonight, I'm taking off though. Got some other things to do. Other place you can find me is the Hollow Flames, at Hollow Flames over on Twitter. There's a podcast I'm a part of. I also play a spellcaster there, but personality is quite different. The other place you can, those are the main 2 places to find me currently. Perhaps there will be other places in the future, I don't know, but if you want to keep in touch with that, go ahead and follow me over at NNG98 on Twitter, because what's brand consistency? Other than that, it might be snakes, it might be puns, who knows? Yeah, and I've had a great time playing this game.
Thank you. And thank you also goes to Celeste. How are you, friend? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
I'm a little sad. I'm a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. The end of a season is always like real sad for me because this has been the highlight of my Sundays for the past several weeks, and I'm glad I'm not crying because it's over. I'm smiling because it happened, but goodness gracious, I'm gonna miss all of these faces and all of these doggos. Hi, I'm Celeste Shepherd here I'm Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on. You know what? I am Celeste. I exist. Hi. It wouldn't be Celeste outro without me tripping over my own words. I don't do a whole lot of streaming of my own, but you can catch me on other people's channels sometimes. This was sort of the last little stream thing that I had going on for a while. So you might not see me around for a little while until I find something new and I get my schedule squared away again to have some room for some fun things like this. Because, you know, life exists and we have to, you know, obligations. But, you know, I still have plans for appearing on a certain podcast that is starting to drop their session zeros available for public listening. A fun little number called Tales to Inspire, superhero podcast that is an alternate history podcast. So if you're ever interested in seeing what would have happened in history if we had actual superheroes doing, you know, superheroics, definitely give that a watch. We are dropping yet another issue 0 for one of the other characters from session 1 tomorrow. So definitely keep your eyes on that, or your ears on that, as it is a podcast. I cannot wait. The 3 that have existed so far, real good. Omission, Crystal Gazer, Torchbearer. We are setting up some good stuff here, and there's already been significant impact on the course of history just from the first season alone, is what I've heard. So if you were interested in getting even more goodness, definitely go be a patron of the Misconceptions Network, because the giant sized issue 0s for each of the heroes from season 1 are available right now for patrons $5 a month. So just $5 and you can binge that whole thing, and it's all of the players talking about the inspiration for their characters, lots of real good stuff in there. I can't wait for things to actually get rolling, and I can't wait for whatever season I might be in. I can't tell you which ones I'm going to be in. I can tell you I'm involved, but when am I going to show up? You'll have to wait and see. So yeah, definitely give that a look, and give Misconceptions, other podcasts, a listen. Misconceptions, the one the network was named for, which is available in its entirety, because they have finished their run of that, as well as Sins of the Father, which is a D&D 5e where they're all playing kids who are looking for their dads, and it is very wholesome and very sweet, and the characters are fantastic. So, good stuff going on over there. Go give them a follow, go give them a listen. It's going to be great. One more thing. Tech people have been amazing this season. They definitely deserve a shout out, especially Sam, whose birthday it is. Happy birthday, Sam.
Yes, the behind the scenes folk here have been working their butts off this season. I can tell you that at the very minimum. So big thank yous to Spence, Ian, Sam, Mr. Smith, Mitch, and some of our new folks that are just coming on, like Taylor and Mickey and Bianca. These are the folks that are going forward and making the stuff that you get to see happen. So definitely shouts out to them as we come to the close of the season. As for myself, I have been your humble narrator, Pope Worldbuild on Twitter, Popeworldbuild on Twitch. If you want to see more of my silly face again, number of opportunities throughout the week, a lot of the week. So next up is tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, over on Laugh Love Lindy. I am helping out a friend to take a much needed break by running the McDonald's cheeseburger of games that is D&D 5e. I am taking a stab at Innistrad, with Fang and Shadow. So if you want to see some gothic horror with a group of individuals so chaotic they just say yes to all of my devil's bargains, come tune in for that. Then on Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern, over on Follow Black Cats, see our disaster spies as we try to escape all of our, consequences on a plane leaving the Cayman Islands, and one of our number is a demolitions expert that doesn't necessarily know when to say no to his own impulses, and I have a feeling we're going to be assaulted on the plane. I don't know if we're going to survive. So tune in for that, 2 p.m. Eastern. Follow Black Cats with the spy game Hexcrawl. Thursdays, over on Critical Misses, 8 p.m. Eastern, we continue on with Masks Advanced Studies. They too have fave problems. Terrible, terrible fave problems. And then Saturday, it's a twofer. First, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, over on Praxagora Thesmophoria. Yes, that's a lot of letters. Follow the Twitter for the link. As we continue on with our sort of back and forth with Mechton Starblade Battalion. We have a sister show that runs the opposite Saturdays at 8 p.m., same channel, so you get to see sort of an independent group trying to make the best of the world of a sci-fi world where things are not going well. And then you get to see another group, which is a bunch of corporate privateers. They don't read all the contracts and then sign them. So yeah, if you want to see that disaster group of pirates, that's at every other Saturday at 8 p.m. If you want to see those of us who have just the worst love interest choices and a lot of deep backstory, come see us at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern every Saturday, we're coming towards the later half of our season on Defiant, the Trail of the Dead. It's the apocalypse, baby, and my poor reformed devil keeps getting drawn into things that are way above his pay grade. So if you want to come and see me suffer like these people have, tune in 9 p.m. Eastern, Valdran's channel for that. And then keep your eyes peeled on this space, folks. We're coming to a close for this season. There's definitely a lot of stuff coming up for the summer season, but we will be taking a more prolonged break between as we shift a lot of the backstage hardware from one site to another to make sure that things like streaming delays and whatnot are cut significantly down and things get a bit more spit and polish. So don't worry, we will be back. There is a lot of content lined up. I can tell you this, there's going to be more Shadowrun. There will be Necrobiotic. There's going to be a lot of stuff to enjoy over the summer season. So keep your eyes peeled on the Twitters, the Twitches. If you feel like it, come hop in our Discord. You are more than welcome. And I also want to say a big thank you to M over at Level 1 Geek. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to be here with us today, but has been such an important figure in our story. We absolutely adore Hanklin, and she is an absolute amazing storyteller. And the folks over at Level 1 Geek are absolutely amazing. If you are interested in getting into this sort of field, definitely follow them, see what they're up to. DRPGs, they are all about that, people on board. So do look out for Level 1 Geek and look out for M. And with that, thank you all so much for being here live on YouTube Stories Nothing Without Its Audience. You're much part of this as we are. Until next time, take care of yourselves and one another. See you soon.
man has gone missing, and in their absence, the world has changed. In many ways, it has become a wide frontier filled with peril and adventure. The dogs of Pugmire seek to uncover the artifacts that man has left behind, protect the weak, and guard against the forces of the unseen.